Colleague offers a fully comprehensive search across all main entity records. When searching over candidates, Boolean searching techniques can be used with free text to find keywords contained within documents, notes, and history. To search for a single word, simply type that word into the text criteria box. For example, searching for engineer will return records where that word appears in their document. You can also use a wildcard by adding an asterisk. For example, engineer asterisk will now also find phrases such as engineering. If you want to search for an exact phrase, place the words in quotation marks. For example, support engineer will search for that phrase together, rather than finding support and engineer separately in different parts of the document. You will notice a found count which is updated top right-hand side as you enter your criteria. You can also build more advanced searches using Boolean operators such as and, or, and not, as well as brackets to group your logic. For example, you might search for records that contain support engineer or construction. You may then want to update this to also include engineer or site manager. This allows you to make your search broader or more specific, depending on the skill sets of the candidates you are trying to find. If there are words or phrases that you want to exclude from the search, use the not operator. Using not will help remove irrelevant results and improve the quality of your search result. For those who have access to Copilot, it is possible to have your Boolean logic automatically created using AI. Simply request a Boolean string based on the skill set or job title you are searching for. The response should provide a useful place to start, complete with a copy code button to paste into the text criteria. Once you've entered your text criteria, the next step is deciding where colleagues should search. The most common option is the CV index. This will contain all CV-related documents stored against candidate records. You will also have the option to search across default documents only. Another useful option is to search over history. This allows you to include telephone histories, emails, and meetings. You can also search over notes, including any note subtypes available on your candidate records. If you are searching across history, you can apply a date range so that only histories created within a certain period are included in the search. As you build your search criteria, Colleague will display a count of the records that have been found. Once you are happy with this number, select Show Results to view the records. Within the result grid, you will be able to customize the columns displayed by clicking on Options. Select to add or remove fields, and Colleague will remember your preferences for future searches of that record type. One especially useful column option is Rank. Rank is an algorithmic score given to each record based on the text criteria used to create the search. The higher ranked records should be more relevant to your search terms. The summary view allows you to inspect key record information from the result list. From here, you will be able to create a history. View documents held against the record. Assess the skills assigned to the candidate and check their history. The View Documents option in the toolbar allows you to preview and scroll through the candidates' CVs. View text will switch the preview to a plain text format. This can be especially helpful as it will highlight where your search terms were found within the document, helping you understand why a record matched and why it may have received a certain rank score. As you review the CVs, you can flag records of interest using colored markers to help organize your search result. Unsuitable records can also be removed from the result as you work your way through the CVs. As well as free text searching, Colleague also allows you to search by skill criteria. Unlike using text criteria, skill searching uses the skills library configured in your system. Instead of typing free text, you can select the skills you want to search whilst using the same and, or, and not logic. For example, you can search for records that contain a specified skill or an alternative skill. You can then use the AND join, so that as well as having either of these skills, the candidate must also have another skill. And you can use the NOT operator to filter out records with an unwanted skill. It is also possible to select a parent skill and add all the skills under that selected parent. And there is a No Skills option, which is useful when identifying records that have not yet been tagged with any skills and may need to be updated. The radius search allows you to find candidates based on their distance from a postcode. Either enter a postcode or look up an existing record and select an address. It is important to note that radius searching requires a full valid postcode due to the way the system uses postcode coordinates to calculate distance. Colleague will then search for records within the specified distance of that radius. Alert levels are a way of placing a banner across the top of a record to warn, categorize, or otherwise advise an important message to the user. This can be default text or a custom message depending on the circumstance. Back in the search, alert criteria will help you search over these alert levels based on their default alert status or any custom text that may have been entered against their alert. Lists are also searchable, including the option to search over other users' lists on the system. And general field searching gives you access to a wide range of fields in the system. This includes date fields, lookup fields, text fields, and numeric fields. Depending on the field type, you may see different options, such as from and to for date ranges, begins with or contains for text fields, and list or range options for numeric values. Many fields also offer a no-value option, which is particularly useful for identifying incomplete records. Rather than scrolling through the full list, it is often quicker to use the field search box to locate the specific field you are looking for. If you are regularly performing similar searches, you can save your search criteria for future use. This is helpful when you want to start from a known search structure and then make small adjustments for a specific brief or campaign. You can also save criteria as shared criteria, making them available to other users or teams. This is useful for standard searches that multiple people may need to run. Saving criteria is different from saving a search result. Criteria stores the logic used to build the search, while a saved search result stores the actual records returned at that point in time. Colleague supports an array of bulk workflows to process against your search result. With the required records selected, you'll be able to run bulk workflows from the selected records and right-click menu. Bulk emails will pull the email addresses of all records into the email form. Each email address in the To field will represent a separate email to each recipient. Creating a history will log a shared history log linked with all of the selected records. Creating a task will create a task per selected record and is an ideal approach for working through a list of people to contact. Standard editing functions are available to remove, hide, and keep selected records. You can also bulk assign ownership to records, as well as remove ownership when needed. You can add or remove skills. There is also the option to update various fields in one process. This is particularly useful when bulk updating status, availability, and mail shot status. This can save significant time when maintaining records. Depending on permissions and setup, you may also see options for archiving, unarchiving, or deleting records in bulk. This is traditionally reserved for admin users. And records can be added or removed from a list. When bulk long-listing or short-listing, you will first need to link the search result to a requirement. Select the requirement link option and look up your requirement. With the requirement linked, the long list and short list workflows will become available. This makes the search a practical sourcing tool, not just a way of grouping data. In addition to saving criteria, you can also save full search results so you can return to them later. Saved searches can be reopened, updated, and reused as needed. Colleague also supports layered searching. This means that after running an initial search, you can return to the criteria to run a different search. and then combine the results together. You can also filter a current search result by applying new criteria only to the records already returned. This is useful when you want to build a broad search first and then narrow it down in stages, or when you want to combine multiple related talent pools into one working search. The records within your current search result can be added to another existing saved search. You can also merge records into your current search result. Another powerful feature is the ability to convert one type of search result into another. For example, you might start with a candidate search and then convert that into a placement search to see which of those candidates have been placed. From there, you could convert the placements into a company search to filter on which clients those placements relate to. This type of conversion is especially useful for business development, account analysis, and reviewing relationships across different record types. Thank you for watching. If you have any queries, please feel free to reach out to our support team.